And welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host for today, Mikey, coach of Trip Jacket Mafia. Today, obviously, with me being up here, we have no Savs. Also, too, we don't have no intro video because I'm not as good as setting up this digital stuff. So, start getting in some questions, and we'll start feeding them through. I've got two guests on with me as always. Jake, coach of Ramian Noodle. No, is it that still? No,
No,
it's
no, kiss my
Kiss My
behinds. That was
Behind.
last year. So
Living in
yes,
the
yes.
past, yeah. Kiss my behinds. First week owning Hines. How'd you go? Finally got him in your team?
Yeah, got him on my team, but it was disappointing.
Yeah, of
But
course.
I still scored well. I got 11-21. I spun the wheel on Sunday. I was at Magic Round. Was in the pub, sitting in the pub with all my mates. I'm sure Joshua Campbell will be typing about this as soon as he realises we're live. Spun the wheel, had IPAP and Hines captain, and I came up at IPAP and couldn't be more happy with it. IPAP got a double, scored 113. Hines only got 50. So cheering on
Huge
that
play.
decision.
Huge
Yeah,
play,
so
especially
yeah,
with a lot
shot
of.
up to 1200s, I think, around that mark.
Oh, nice. That's a big round. And before I say how I went, he's lurking. He's the Supercoach lurker and the reigning champion, Timmy. How are you, mate? Looking a bit like Doctor Disrespect for anyone that knows the streamers. Wearing his KFC trackie. How'd you go last week, mate? And how you feeling this week?
I'm excited, man. It's round 11. 11's a lucky number for me. Obviously, this is a top 11 tracksuit. I scored 1,025 and I've just snuck up into 694th. It was a funny week, man. Like, it was just all over the place, you know. There was some good performers. There was some bad performers. Obviously brought in Turbo, and having him run around doing what he did, that was blah. I had Tomalolo for a 25, so him and Lolo and Turbo are two recent trade-ins for me, and they're both sort of pretty big dollars, and they've only scored 25 or whatever. Stags 35, Garrick 20. Like, it was just pretty headachy, and then I just was lucky to get a couple of blokes in the 80s and 100 in Targo, which was a nice play. I felt like playing Max King or Targo was a season-defining play, and I managed to get on the right end of that one, and I'm just worried about this week's season-defining play, which I think is going to involve the man, Mr. Travojevic.
Mikey, you're on mute, mate. Well, you're not talking.
There we go.
There we go.
Sorry, guys. Sabs has been crowing quite well. How well he's doing, and now you're killing it, Timmy. You're like 100 behind him. So Sabs down to 500 after. I bet you could guess it. If no one has Sabs in his things, he captained Tom Travojevic. I could not believe it when I saw it. He's been doing so well, and every season, I feel like he gets a bit of a hiccup or derailed from his favourite player ever. So, look, there's plenty of ways to recover, but I can't believe he did it. And look, I'm lucky I needed Hines, otherwise I would have brought in Tom as well. Just as a non-Manly fan, I always kind of thought the Broncos were going to be up for this game, and they're looking so good, which is relatable for this comment here by Michael. How good are the Broncos going? They're going so good. Them and Cowboys, the way these Queensland sides are playing this year, apart from the Titans, it's quite extraordinary.
Reynolds is on fire. He's playing great footy, by the way.
What a signing. We knew he was going to be great for the club. All they were needing was a halfback, and yeah, the younger players are starting to step up, so it's great to see. For me last week, 1,074, very close to going IPAP for kind of a base score because I was worried about the turf conditions. But then when I saw some of these other high-scoring matches in the rain, I was like, Hines is going to be in for a big one, and I thought fullbacks really would suit his player style, and yeah, I've not slipped behind, but it could have been a way bigger week. So 1,074. I've gone up 1,800 spots into 4,600. So look, apart from how many trades I've used, I'm happy with the recovery, and I think I'm sitting in a good spot pre-buy round. Speaking about the buys, we're only a couple weeks away, so it's time to start getting your numbers in. That also doesn't kind of work sometimes. Like Ben Travojevic went down last week, and that was really, really unlucky. So there goes another number, and he didn't make as much money as he was expecting. So hopefully, not named today. So hopefully the injury doesn't keep him. Hopefully he's back for the buys. Does anyone have any insight with that? Have they come out saying how long he's out for yet?
No, I was trying to listen to a little
Nah.
bit of NRL physio just before we jumped on. But yeah, I only kind of got a vague sort of thing. I didn't get to listen to enough of it. So he was, just sort of saying that, that I think that, I think it was going to be a couple of weeks at best, but
Yeah, so it's an AC joint injury. I read somewhere from some, I don't know what it was, but it was a potential grade 3. AC joints it's pretty much just a pain injury. I guess grade 3 is more severe. So that can be 4 to 6, 3 to 6.
Yeah.
Like it's just based on how much pain you want to be tolerant of. But I guess him coming back in the team, it kind of depends on Manly either not going good or Morgan Harper not going. Stinking up again. If Morgan Harper, lifts his form, then
I got
Boundary
faith
Roy
in him.
probably doesn't. He
He's
probably
all
doesn't
gonna
get
be
back in the
right.
team. That's the thing that you probably don't change if they're going well enough. So even if he is healthy in 2 weeks, he might not even get back for the bye. So it's probably a Tim. You didn't even bring him in, did you?
Nah, I didn't. I just
See.
just one of those ones I wanted to fade. Just wanted to
It's a
fade.
psychic.
So many people were doing it. Just thought there'd be. Sometimes it can work out. Sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, cool. My other trade wasn't so great, but he brought in his brother for a lesser, I think.
For less than him.
Yeah, for 90, not for 900,000 instead of 180.
Yeah, and he's got such a tough run too. And yeah, it's just I don't like the look of Tom this year so far. He will come good, but I'd like to grab him for a very cheap price. And yeah, the Ben Trebojevic move, that's a good one, Tim. I use my boost to make sure I grab the cheapie to generate cash, and it just shows you sometimes if you keep focusing about cash, it's not always the right way. Like, what I did last week was probably not ahead, but picked up Ruben Cotter, and he's been great. I'm sure we're going to get questions about him. Do we think it's too late to grab Ruben Cotter? A lot of people saying he will play Origin. A lot of people say he won't play Origin. He now costs you out 560k, and the Cowboys' run is very tough with Melbourne Panthers, and there's another tough matchup around the buys. What do you think, Tim? Do you think it's too late for Ruben
This is
Cotter?
one I really am seething that I, was stubborn on and just was like, no, I don't want him. Don't want him. Other people were keen on him. Didn't want to investigate it too much further. Just don't want him. Don't like small little forwards. I like big ones. I've talked about that a fair bit. I like the big fellas. But, yeah, look, he's gone up to 500 and something now. That's intense. The 480 price was probably worth it. The fact that he could get selected for Origin, that's awkward. You're picking him up for a buy number potentially, but if you did pick him up and you wanted to roll the dice that he doesn't play Origin, even if he does, you can be pretty safe the fact that he's a keeper. Like, he's pumping out pretty consistent scores. The guy's playing bulk minutes. He loves the work. He's got a motor on him. So I'm really angry I haven't got him. I think there's probably other targets for me to get. I don't have IPAP. I've got the shits. I got bloody Lolo instead of I paid 600 for Lolo instead of 480 for Cotter. So that's stinging.
Yeah, and I think Lolo's looking like a bit of an avoid at the moment if you don't have him, where we saw old school Lolo and now he's gone back to the past 2 years Lolo. So it's crazy. Did you have anything different on that, Jake? You think too late for Cotter?
I don't think so. I think he's at hooker. I think he's probably with Cook, probably the second best option. I put him on par with Damien Cook at hooker. Probably doesn't have the upside that Cook has, but if he's getting 65, 70 minutes in the middle, just pumping out base stats, he's going to get 60 points in base. And then, like we saw on the weekend, he scored that full length try. He's got a bit of speed and a bit of go about him, so he can rack up those attacking stats. But even if he doesn't play Origin, I still think he's a potential keeper. I mean, he's got that hooker second row flexibility, so you can easily use that from now all the way through to the end. If you want to bring Cook in, or you want to put him in second row, or put him in hooker to bring in someone like Randall to someone else. Like, it's always good to have that. But yeah, like Tim said, it would have been good to get him last week. Like, you didn't like it, 480 instead of 560k like we have to pay for him now. So at like his minus 23 break even, potentially goes towards 600 this week. I'm tossing up whether to go Randall to him, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's that much of, I guess, a pressing issue. It depends if, I guess, you need players to play. Like, he's going to be a good player regardless. But if you already have 17 decent enough players, I guess you can probably wait till 13, see if he's not playing Origin, and then maybe bring him in then.
Yeah, I think
might come back down a bit. Then
you definitely could play him each week. Yeah, I think just the hard part is knowing whether or not he plays a bye. If you were guaranteed for him to play the bye round, I think a base of about 60 points is very handy for that bye round, and with attacking stats could go up. But with the way he's playing, I think he's built for Origin. Like, I'd probably pick him over one of the players I had last year, over like Collins or Fodawaker, but I'm just hoping for SuperCoach that's not the case. We do have a few questions that we will try and get to so they don't build up too much. Before we do that, let's quickly go over our trades. We'll start with you, Timmy. And just before we start, just because we say what our thoughts are now, doesn't mean that's what our thoughts are going to be on Thursday to Sunday. So they're not legally binding. Snowflakes. These are just our thoughts. So,
I'm just
Timmy, what are you thinking?
Now, I've got absolutely no idea at this point. Normally, I've got a bit of an idea. Like, I have Monday off altogether. I try not to have any thoughts about SuperCoach, brush them away if they come into my mind, and wait till I get to look at Team List Tuesday, which is obviously just dropped within an hour and 12 minutes ago. So usually I've got a bit of a vague idea from last week, maybe what I'm considering. But the only thing that's been lurking on my mind is whether I wanted to hold Turbo or sell Turbo. And from what I saw on the eye test last week, and I go purely on eye test, is just the fact that he doesn't look right, and can't see him looking much better this week. But it feels like such a big decision because I feel like a lot of people might sell him. So maybe he's a bit of a weird guy, Tommy. Like, he can have a bit of a weird game and look a bit underdone like he did that once last year. Didn't look so injury affected, but it was the game prior to his first Origin game. I think he played Newcastle and he played just really quiet, scored like 70, which is still okay for him. Maybe 40-ish even, I think it was. Yeah. But I've got the vibe if he comes back and kills, but how much are you going to hate selling him after he's just dropped like about 80K or something? So it's and then who to go to? Like, so the thing for me, I was sort of in my mind immediately, like watching the game, watching him play, starting to look around, going, who the hell am I going to get for this guy? And there's a lot of options through duels, but they're not great. There's a lot of options because you can get halfbacks, you can get fullbacks. You'd think you'd be sweet. Some of them look appealing, but then they're not good enough. Like, you could go, Adam Reynolds is in form. He's not a SuperCoach player, but he's the new Nico Hines, maybe, owning a side and just doing everything in the side and controlling it, getting points, racking them up. But he's a bit slow. I don't really like him. He's not going to play the first bye either, so that's a bit sucky. So there's nothing standing out at this point. I'm like, maybe it's a hold week, but I don't know. I'm going to have to wait, and I'll probably have some sort of answer, hopefully by Thursday. But then again, the good news is, I did look at this because I've been stressing about it, is that the first two games are kind of insignificant, Knights and Broncos. And then the next game is Tigers and Bulldogs. So I've still got till like Friday, 7:55 p.m. to annoy Snowflake and make my decision at the last second. But that's when Manly will play Para, and I need to decide, do I want to go to IPAP, which I should have probably just got last week? I could do that via duels. Or do I hold strong with him? Do I go elsewhere with Turbo to maybe a really pottish guy? There's a few people that I've got lingering in my mind. I could rack off 100 names. They're all pods because none of them are really great options. But I probably feel like at this point, I'm not going to do anything. I feel like I'm just getting scared of trading. I did 2 trades last week. I said I was only going to do 1, and my second trade sucked. So,
yeah, look, you're good at saving your trades, and I think there's some really good thoughts there. If I had Tom, I think I would just kind of hold. But with how he looked, he like let quite a few tries in just with not having the speed to get there, because they keep saying he's 100%. He doesn't look 100%, and I believe him not to be 100%. So,
Mikey, sometimes he was near the ball. He was right near the person and sort of almost could have made it. Like, he was just sort of like, they're over the line, and let's not make a fuss about it and try wrestle it off them or anything. It was weird, man. I was getting a few conspiracy vibes in that game. I was like, what's going on here? But anyways, press on.
Just quickly, because it's pretty relevant. I don't believe him, but he's saying Savs is saying that he's going to save 2.
Big fan of the show, Savs.
Yeah, he's a very big fan of the show, and I'll be very surprised if he actually saves the 2 trades. But,
I can see him doing it. I reckon he'll do it.
Just quickly, boys, what do you think he said next? Jake, we'll go to you.
Of what he said next?
Yeah, what do you think he's going to say next?
I want to ask him a question
Tim.
that he might.
That he's still ahead of Tim.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no.
I can't see him boasting that.
Come on, he's going to blister up Tommy. Sabs, please do not do it. Just leave him aside for a bit, please.
You told me this morning you were going to have a day off SuperCoach. Did you have a day off SuperCoach completely? Like, obviously, you're watching the thing. That was yesterday. Yeah. Did you have a day off
SuperCoach? Yeah.
If you had a day off SuperCoach, I believe you're saving 2 trades. But if you ended up going to a couple of cheeky potties, he loves a potty in the car. I won't believe
he is. Yeah, no, I don't think so too. Back on course, Jake. Back to you. Your trades this week. Have you got any locked in? What are you thinking?
Potentially only one. I do like Trent Peoples actually. He's named second row for South. Potential Burbo to him, but we can wait till next week. I think he'd be a good play this week. Even he's got a SuperCoach friendly game in the 60 minutes he played last week. He had 4, not last week, week 4, when he wasn't legally allowed to play, but they played him anyway, which was weird. He had 4 offloads. He runs a good line, and he'll be running off Cody
68
Walker,
points. Yeah,
he got
How
68
that
points.
It was miraculous, and then the offload. He looked like
I think if you need to bring someone in, if you need a play this week, if you're really struggling numbers, I think, especially with Cole Matangi on the bench, you still have him. Get rid of him, and I think Pickles is a perfect option. But I'll probably wait till next week and be a downgrade option to we hopefully hear more on Burbo. But I saw it in the chat before. I was talking about Cotter, but I think it was Dean Rochley. He mentioned it. Rhys Robson. I think he's a fantastic option. He's back to 80 minutes, and he's sort of like that Harry Grant mold. I think he's got the second most runs as a dummy half behind Harry Grant, and then there's daylight to the next one. So at 510K, he will play the bike because he won't be playing Origin. I don't mind Randall to him to I guess have a hooker for Origin.
Savs was asking me about Robson about a week or 2 ago, and I steered him off him. So sorry about that, brother.
I mean, yeah. Ever since Granville's disappeared out of that team, Robson and Cotter have just minutes have shot up, and they're going nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that Dean Rochley twigged that in my mind. That's probably going to be my trade this week.
Yeah, I'm thinking something similar. Like, I have him in my mind as well, but I'm just worried there has been a lot of attacking stats in the past fortnight, which has helped spike his price up. And I do think the Cowboys could be very competitive against Melbourne and Penrith, but they're going to be a bit of harder games. Like, their next 4 to 5 games, like, they're coming up to a really tough patch here, and that kind of is steering me away from him. But the other reason is to do it, I would have to sell Josh King, and I don't know if I want to part ways with Josh King yet. So, my one locked in trade, I'm finally getting rid of Penasini. He was always going for the buy. I'm going to finally bring Tago down into center wings, which I've wanted to do all season, and I'm going to bring in one of your favorites, Timmy, and one of my personal favorites. I've got to do it. Kick out.
The big boy.
It's a big price. It's 600K. I did have 300 and something K in the kitty, and my trades are purely. I don't know who keeps someone.
Who is he? Who's he?
It's probably
a
Brandon.
hacker. It's a hacker.
Yeah. But yeah, he's 600K, and yeah, my trades are purely buy round trades. I'm looking at bringing in people to get my buy round numbers and ones that I'm happy to have in my side. And Kickow against the tougher sides, like, I think this has been one of his better years. Like, he's been very more consistent this year than previous years. Looking at his score sheet, like, a lot of people jumped off him at a patch, but he's gotten so much better. As I said, price at 600K, break even at 29. But in the past 5 weeks, he's gone 84, 80, 66, 76. And they're against like Melbourne, Para. And then even before that, he had a small patch of 37 and 40. But he's playing the Bulldogs. He also plays in the buy round. He plays the Cowboys, which is technically played his Holden Cup in the Cowboys. So I think he could have a few big weeks, and I'm not scared at playing him against the Roosters because he's just absolutely in everything, even against
He
these
did
tougher
score that.
sides.
You just bring up they got the Bulldogs. He did score that low 40 against the Bulldogs last time he played the Dogs. So maybe he's taking it easy on his future club. Doesn't want to hurt any of the prospects. I doubt it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, yeah, I need Kickout. Like I just want him 19%. And then my second trade, I was thinking, as I said before, Rhys Robson, but I've got a crazy one. It's an absolutely crazy one. Another buy number. So Brad Snyder has been dropped. I thought this might be happening with the way for all he's been playing because Wyden's back and then Fogarty might come in. I actually really think he's not going to play the buy, which sucks. I was looking at other options, what I could go to, and there is one man that has fallen a lot in price. He's only 300k. Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson. I'm highly considering it. Everyone's going, I know he stinks without the goals.
300k. Whoa.
300k, dual 5'8" halfback, plays a bye round, and the Warriors 3-round draw is excellent. He's got a break in of 10 because he scored 56 on the weekend without a try assist. So for me, it's kind of like a cheapie purchase. You could go him or Arcee, but Johnson has the pedigree. It is a weird, strange move, but for me going Snyder to Johnson, that is, I make 75k. And also the Warriors draw. So this week they play the Dragons. That's playable. The following week they have the Knights. That's playable. And then in the bye round they play Manly, who will be missing Tommy and a stack of stars. So I think this could be a nice short-term prospect. That could be good. But look, at 300k, there's not much. The only thing I'm gambling with is a trade.
Yeah.
And I reckon he's got 200k to make if he goes back on a bit of a run. Look, the Warriors have absolutely sucked, but they go on these sprees where they score some points. And I actually like the combination of Johnson and Arcee. It's absolutely, I couldn't believe how many points they scored in that short amount of time.
So who do you have in 5'8" currently?
Cody Walker and Munster. That's locked in. I've got Cleary. I've got a very...
Oh, so you're going to get him in halfback.
Yeah, Snyder to Johnson. So it makes sense in that. It's just like I'm starting to get I'm using a lot of trades, but I can see myself doing that because I need to bring in two. After losing Snyder today, I'm low on buy numbers. I've got to bring two in this week. Because if the thing is, anyone planning for the buys, if you numbers are getting low and you don't want to use all your boosts, if your numbers are too low when you're a week away, you might have to boost. So I'm trying to be proactive here.
I think that's really interesting that you found him for that price, man. I would never have even been looking at him. It's such a
looking at a lot
thing.
Yeah. While we're talking about fallen guns, it was one of my hot topics. I've been looking at heaps of them. Someone mentioned it before. I guess I can plug his question now. Michael Dakai, Brendan Smith, pod thoughts. Hooker second row. Excellent if you have a Cotter type, and he's 412k. No sign yet to say buy me because his break even's still average, and he did score 30 on the weekend. But if he gets like over the Origin, the second buy, there you go. Starting at prop, he could be an option too. I just think, I'm personally thinking
Cotter going around. Bellamy's seen Cotter go around with that little body with the 10 on him, and he's going, oh, yeah, go on, Cheese, have a go. Get in there.
And with that bench too, he could get quite a good amount of minutes. They've got a youngish bench of Kamikamitas back there who will obviously play prop, but then they got the McDonald, Trent Lorio, and then they're holding Dina Remia on the bench, who's the winger. Yeah. So if that stays the way it is, like Brendan Smith, this could be a good week to go down that route. But for me... Yeah.
Last year, if you didn't own him, which I didn't, it was really annoying, man.
Yeah.
Week after week, he would just be like crashing for 1 or 2 tries and then making all the tackles. You're like, come on, man.
Yeah, I want to see how he goes. Yeah, I want to see how he goes at this, like in this role, and then maybe you could jump on next week. Yeah, because if you do wait, it's next week. You'd still be happy to pay $460-ish for him if you went bananas. And another one, which is Rapana, is down to like 350k. So there's like around 350 to he's no more than I'm pretty sure he's 350 because I wrote a list of I can't. And the ones that so especially Rapana, he plays the buy round. So I've got a lot of mud center wings, and I've been looking, and Canberra have a pretty tough draw. That's the only thing keeping off him.
Question
What do
for
you
you,
think?
Mikey,
Yeah, go
about
for it, mate.
Rapana. The fact that you've got Nickel Cockstad that's sort of a little bit, out of favour, but holding his spot. You got not Brandon Savage, Xavier Savage on the bench, who wants that spot. Do you think there's any chance of Rapana going to fullback? Because that's where I think he plays the best.
If you could snatch him up at that price before everyone, before he gets too low and before he has a game at fullback, then 100%, it'd be awesome. But I just don't see it happening. They had a big win on the weekend against Jake Sharks, and I think they'd be silly to change their formula now. But look, if the Raiders can start to pick up a bit of form, I'd take Rapana even on a wing at that price. Like, I'm going to wait another week, but if I can turn someone like a Moan who's starting to make a bit of money to go to Rapana as a center wing number, like I'm still forced into playing like one of Kula or what's his face, Amone. So like I could use a center wing around that price that has big pedigree. So look, Fallen Guns are a big play of every Supercoach season, and there's quite a lot at the moment that aren't really being spoken about. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. And look, I'm willing to take a few risks.
Good little finds, mate. I like them. They're all interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, all good. Let's go through some questions. We've actually covered quite a few hot topics in that that 26-minute patch. Let's go through.
Things work a lot quicker when Savs isn't in charge.
I'm a very fast talker. Yeah. And I guess there's less messing around, but hey, we love Savs.
The intro goes for about 38 minutes in itself.
Also his little songs that he does that get us flagged on YouTube.
Yeah, I wonder if we're still on there. Yeah, I shouted him out though, so I think we should be fine. Okay, let's go to Mitch Webb. I'm bringing in Oates as a pod. The Broncos have a lot of plays designed around him. Thoughts, boys? Start with you, Jake. You're next to me on the screen here. What do you think?
I mean, it would have been great to start with, but he's at $500K now.
Yeah, he was really cheap. Yeah, you couldn't do it for that price. But the Broncos are playing great footy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
Tim,
he's a very good chance to get Origin, bro. Like they're talking, it's either Oates, Coates, like Oates and Coates.
Tuolangi.
With maybe
Tuolangi from the Cowboys. He's been getting spoken about now.
Yeah,
there's quite a few options for him.
Cobbo's lurking as well.
You mean Nanai, don't you?
No, I meant I've seen things about Tuolangi, the Cowboys.
Murray,
the Cowboys wing is being spoken about. He can play for Queensland.
Oates is in form, man, and I think they're going to have a lot of young players in the side, a lot of young forwards. They're going to be going probably with a lot of the Knights guys, like I think Lukey and Nanai and Gilbert and all those guys are getting talked about as well. I think Nanai, I'm not too sure if he's a Queensland. I might be chucking his name in. But he's Queensland. Okay, yeah, I wasn't too sure where his allegiance would pledge. But yeah, cool. But Oates, I think they'll go with him. I think they need a few older heads in the side, and I'd be wary of Oates for that reason.
The Broncos do play the second bye, but yeah, I tend to agree with you. 500K is too much for him, but the way the Broncos are playing at the moment, I think a lot of people are really fussed about the Stags and Cobbo thing where they're just unnoticing this left side that just keeps getting the job done.
Farnworth,
so many tries. Like that left side, they're playing both sides, and Coates is just scoring so many tries. Sorry, Oates. He's scoring so many tries. All right, Timmy, to you from Samuel Shembry. What do you boys think of new cheapy hookers from the Raiders? Frees up a lot of cash for me to upgrade elsewhere, and he plays round 13. Wolford, he's named to start, but Adam Elliott's 18th man. Could come back into second row.
Yeah, that is a little bit awkward with Adam Elliott there, but I think this guy looked pretty good, man. From
really good.
His first game, they gave him good minutes. He's apparently his old man used to play. The name sounds very familiar. I think
Simon Wolford. Yeah, Simon Wolford. Yeah.
So, but his body's right. He just seems like he's got that shape that can take it on. And I think would he play like 50 minutes or no 40 minutes or something?
40 minutes.
30
minutes. Right.
Yeah. It took a while for what's his face to come on and sub him off. What's his
Yeah,
name?
63 in 37 minutes with he did get that try assist, didn't he? Or did he
had
score?
2
He
try
looks like a
assists.
goer. I can see him keeping a spot because it seems like they do want to go with Starling off the bench. It seems like they love his impact. They don't want to play him the game. So if you're looking for just like a slow burner that could, get you probably wouldn't want to play him, but you'd play him in the buy for a potential 30, 40 at best. Maybe he crosses over for a cheeky try. You'd be loving it.
Yeah, I think with how old he is, like he's meant to play NRL ages ago. Yeah, and
To
I
free
think
up
that's
cash
why he just
elsewhere is
looks
the
so
only
good.
reason I do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, if he keeps holding his spot, I'd like to see Adam Elliott come back into the side, and if he takes a hooker spot, I'd like to see what happens there. Because if not, yeah, he could be a handy number. It looked really really good. So, look, I just wouldn't take the risk this week, especially with the Adam Elliott in the reserves.
Yeah, you can have another look. But if he's desperate to make a trade, sometimes I don't mind taking a punt on a cheapie like this. If you're not going to play him, it doesn't always it can be. I've done it with my hooker a fair bit. I went to Sony Luke and that didn't work out. And I brushed him off to Wish Out, which is looking crap as well. So, yeah. So I was just trying to get anyone that's playing. Sony Luke's like he's just going to be lurking on number 23 for the Panthers for a while. But yeah, I don't mind if you really need to free up the cash, and it could work out. And I think he looks good, that kid. So there's no reason why he wouldn't feature in the side going forward.
Yeah, I agree. Next question. I'll enter this one. Ray Watkins, with the big B and the fact he'll miss. Oh, he must have been talking about. Oh wait, is everyone considering selling Cleary at a high and potentially bringing him back after Origin, hopefully at a discount. Now, okay, this
could be smart thinking. Could be smart.
Could be smart thinking. I like it because, yeah, I think he will be rested quite a bit, especially if Sean O'Sullivan comes and plays how he was at the start. I think that would make Ivan rest him a bit more, but I can't do it. I think this is also why I'm leaning to a Sean Johnson trade, because then I can use Sean Johnson when I have to rest Cleary. 909K. He's got a massive break even now. I think 167, but I just can't spend another trade. I've been spending too many trades, and I think if you have used a lot of trades, Ray, I would be reluctant to sell him just because you're gonna need him for all the games he plays. I'm too scared not having him. We've seen what he can do.
We're talking about getting him back. Like it seems like he would want to get him back at a distance.
It's a bit of. If you're going to do it, you want to do it now while his price is high. Penrith will be competitive no matter what week it is. Like they're playing the Roosters, that'll be a tough game. But then Cowboys at home, and I just couldn't bear not to own him. But we do have.
It's not nice. If you miss a game when he's playing and he kills it, you've fallen behind hard. So it's a bit rough.
Agree. Jake, back to you. Kind of spoke about him before, but thoughts on Corey Pakes to Zach Woodford?
I guess I didn't really get to say my piece on Woodford. I kind of stay away from him. I think he's like another Sony Luke waiting to happen. Like you said, Mikey, Adam Elliott will definitely come back in that team, and the Raiders are looking pretty good with him playing the 20, 30 minutes hooker, and Starling came back on. So I don't think they're going to play. I guess the two hookers with Adam Elliott in there. So I think he's going to be. He might not even play a third game. So I'm a bit hesitant to go Zach Woodford. He's 20 something. He's mid-20s. He's mid-20s at the moment. Like
he just got signed though.
He should have played earlier.
He only just recently.
He's been there for a while. He used to play for Bulldogs, sure.
Yeah, he played for the Bulldogs, and then he originally was Canberra, went to the Bulldogs, come back, and he just never. He was close to getting.
I think it was like a new thing. So I think now he's there and he's available. Adam Elliott's more. You use him in your second row. You use him in the in the lock prop if you need to. But hooker, it's a bit clunky. It seemed like a temporary thing for me.
Like I think if he has a big week this week, go Jake.
So the thing was, I guess the first, what he played 3 games at hooker, Adam Elliott. Like if Ricky wanted to bring in another hooker, he would have played Zach Woodford there and put Adam Elliott in the middle. But he chose to put Adam Elliott there, and he did a good job. So I don't think that. I'd be staying away from Woodford the same way that Sony Luke sort of happened. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want him potentially not be playing for, you might
Case of beer on who plays more games at hooker, Wolford or what's his face? Your boy Elliot by the end of the year. Case of beer.
I've already got a three game head
if you
start.
want to sponsor us, this is your last chance. I asked you last tweet.
You've got a 3-game head start. It's true.
Hard to twist the right way. Go.
All right, Timmy.
It's done. There we go. Case interesting. Look, one thing I did want to just quickly run in on Woodford there is like it's going to be. I feel like how he goes this week will shape what happens because although what Jake said's all true, if he has another blinder, it might be too hard to drop him because Canberra have been playing so poorly, and if they can string some games together, they could keep that combo. But interesting one. All right, let's move on. I was going to ask Tim a question, but I guess I'll answer it. Oh, Tim, you can answer this one. Sean Fitzpatrick. You think they Lolo for the next 2 tough games? Toddy up to his old tricks again. We had someone else think that he was going to play big minutes.
I think it was just he was like, hey, look how much we're in front. I don't need to play him. We'll just rest him. Have a rest, mate. Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't come back. We don't need you getting injured in this game when we've already won it. I think that's how that guy is. I think he's really, really that coach Payton is very, very sort of security minded. I think he'd be a bit of if you played SuperCoach, you'd save a lot of trades. That's my vibe with him. So I think it's annoying. I have him, but I think he'll probably play when they're struggling or they need, that the game's pretty even, but maybe get spelled whenever they get up from now on by the looks of it. Let's hope not, though. Otherwise, I'm going to have to boot him as soon as 13's over.
Yeah, I think it was purely rested. I mean, they were beating up the Tigers, and I think they versus Melbourne and the Panthers in the next 2 rounds, which are massive games, like big physical sides where you need Lolo at his. I guess you don't want to risk him getting injured because I guess they're not going to win without Lolo against those 2 teams. They need him, going toe to toe with 2 of the best sides. So I think he was rested. I mean, he kind of had a weird rotation where he kind of threw Hammer at fullback, brought Drinkwater off, and then threw Drinkwater back on because Hiku came off with a cramp or something. So, yeah, I think Lolo will be back to 55, 60-ish minutes this weekend and next, and then with possibly no Cotter, no maybe Nanai, Lukey, Gilbert, whoever they pick for Origin. I think he'd probably play big in decent minutes in 13 as well. Tim, you have a question?
Yeah, may I ask a question of you, Jake?
Yes.
Does this round count? The one that he's named at? Do I tally that one up if he plays one? Because it could only be the bench. Yeah, which you were arguing. So would I count this one?
Yeah. If you have to go for the whole season, but don't tally it because the game hasn't started, Tim.
No, I'm just preparing the board.
All right, another dig at you as usual, the Josh Camplin special.
I knew that was coming. He said he was, but I made that decision. Well, the wheel made that decision for me. He was just standing next to me when it happened, so he's claiming it by himself.
Looks good, Timmy. I like it.
We're going to be doing a week to week on this. This is a new segment on the show. I'm really excited about it.
Jake's starting to regret his decision. I'm backing Timmy. I don't know why. I'm just going to back you, Timmy. Okay.
I'm the champ, brother. That's why.
Thoughts on Cam Murray to Ryan Madison. Now, Ryan Madison, I did want to speak about. He's really interesting. He's getting very expensive. I wish I jumped on him instead of Angus Crichton. Paradigm played dual second bye. By then, if a lot of their players are back, he probably won't play Origin, but they are down a few maybe second rows. He might be up in the talk to play the first one. I don't know.
It'd be a huge pod, I'd imagine. I can't imagine anyone more than 8% would have him, probably even less.
He's 2%, 660K. His break even is 14. He's been starting at lock, and his scores have been 107, 91, 72, and then even before that, 55, 60, 86. He's been flying under the radar, doing very well.
Just starting at lock, but Brown's been named.
He's been coming off the bench.
No, he's been coming off the bench. Yeah, so he's in all these. He's been playing 50 minutes on average, which is absolutely crazy. He has been dragging a lot of attacking stats, but man, that's just every year Ryan Madison is an option. And yeah, I don't know if I could do that for 55-ish minutes at that price. But hey, Cam Murray to Ryan Madison, that's not going to cost him too much. He'd probably make a bit of money with it. In that case, I probably would do it because it's not all about making money. Good pod, Paris draw, Manly, Raiders, Bulldogs, Roosters. Yeah, that's not a bad. It's okay. It's like a too hard.
And Madison could be like one injury and the Eels away from securing more minutes and getting a starting role.
Yeah.
Like in the, he's got one this week, doesn't he? So
yeah, he's starting this week, and they are full strength, Parramatta, in terms of their forwards. Nathan Brown's just back to the bench, so
on the bench,
which I think he plays the same minutes anyway. He still play 55.
Trust your gut, James. If you've seen something there, mate, go with it, bro.
Yeah, the impact is shooting his style at the moment, like on the bench.
It kind of depends if he wants, I guess, a number for round 13, okay, and like maybe a Kikau or a Kawadu's in that case probably a better option. But if you want the pod in Madison, who's looking incredible in the middle, then yeah, bust back your gut, go for it.
Yeah. Is Aiken back this week?
Aiken is back, yes.
Okay.
He's starting second row. Yep. All good. Jake, over to you. Dean, Rochelle.
That's who I was talking about before, who I saw in the comments about my mind about Robson. So yeah, I am thanking him. So
yeah. Look, it's tough. I think he could really be a good option. You're doing this exact trade, Jake, so I guess you'd.
No, I'm not. But I was just saying, if you had Tuolangi still, because I punned him last week, but if you had still had Tuolangi, 100%, be doing that. Frees up what?
He's really underwhelming, isn't he?
As well. He
looks
very
good.
Disappointing, Tuolangi.
He's got that big body I like, and he's got the haircut. It's just he's not.
He runs so many block plays, so many block plays, and he's just. He played a few games last year and scored tries, and now this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trent Peoples, I think he could be a good way to get rid of like a junk guy like Momasia.
But he does have one more week before the rise, right? If I don't want to, I'm going to.
68.
Do I need Peoples? I'm not going to get people. I'm going to have another look at Peoples.
68 and 64 minutes. We want to see what his minutes are this week, but with injuries to Murray and Host, he could probably play 80 minutes and lock up the starting shot, which would be huge for bottom dollar. This guy's come out of nowhere. So yeah, could be good. Yeah, also average of 170 against Eels last year. Tommy, look,
sounds like that.
Yeah, look, I don't know if I could do it after seeing the fitness, the way I saw him play. But hey, it could be on. It could be on. I think he'll have a massive game.
He would have needed to have gone to Hillsong and had someone like spiritually lay their hands on his body to fix the ailments to come back.
He just didn't look good.
Yeah. In 1 week, geez.
Timmy, everyone do the opposite. Smoothy does. He always does the opposite. He says.
Curious.
The rivalry.
I think I was talking about getting Turbo last week. I'm pretty sure I did it, bro.
Yeah, 50 half ball. Yeah.
Snowflakes come. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. You're right, bro.
All right. Another dig, Dean. All your mates, they love pestering here, but I always like to.
They love pestering each other.
If you're coming over 18k, so if you're coming over 18k, Jake, would you delete the app? Jackson Edwards needs an ASAP.
No, we need someone to come back there, so that's fine.
Nah, never give up. I was in,
It's all about
40,000.
Man. It's about the journey. You look at it at the end, you go, 18th, and I managed to get up to 2,000, so thousands. You'll be right, bro. Keep going.
Yeah, I was in 40,000, and I'm now going to be. I'm coming for Sabs. I guarantee you. Place your bets. So if he was live on the show, then maybe we could do a case of beer. Oh, I'd like to do the next show. I'd like to do a case of beer bet or something on Sabs, just with overtaking him because he is still really far ahead in 500. So maybe we can.
Is there anyone else you want to call out while you're at it?
Not yet.
Anyone else in the SuperCoach world? Do you reckon you might be able to beat? Or go on. He's gone.
No, not yet. But no, not yet. I just more so. I think my goal is to, after the start I had, finishing the top 1,000 would be good. So, but yeah, I might call out maybe your person a week that I'm going to beat, but this week it'll just be Savs. Okay.
New segment, Mikey's call out. I like it.
Yeah, it could go really wrong. I feel like it's a win-win because if I don't, then hey, I was coming 40,000, so I can just use that. A big talking point by Nathan Kembry is Talakai starting to become a concern? Because my first initial trade for it, I didn't say it to you, but what I was doing all week was Talakai to Joey Manu, which I was like, that would put me to 4 Roosters, but Manu is 600k, his break-even's back down, and I really want him for that first buy. Like, he'll play fullback. I think he could be, like, he'd be someone you could captain in that buy round and be excellent. And I'm not liking Garrick now, so I feel like I'd like to have one of either. And my only way to do it was Talakai. Talakai did lose a stack of cash. He's now down at 672,000 with a break even of 132. Wade Graham is absolutely killing him, but they do play the Titans this week. Jake, what do you do with Talakai? Like, is he becoming? I'm starting to get a bit worried, but I think the fact that he gets his duel next week, like, I'm like, oh, I don't hate him in center, but still 680k, you could cash out. Like, what do you do? What do you do, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be center wing next week, which is where a lot of us would hope to potentially get him to eventually, with whatever duels we have. But I mean, he's probably got the lowest floor from a center wing, which is what he's going to become, and we know he has that upside. I don't really know why people keep saying that Wade Graham's been killing him. Wade Graham's been playing a lot of minutes in the middle when he comes on. There's only been a few parts of the game where he goes out on that left edge, and I guess he's starting there now. Wade Graham, Tig Wilton back to the bench, but I don't know. You can't really count last week because we were terrible last week. Nico Hines was not in the halves. Interesting to see how Lockie Miller goes. Nobody bring him in because you're only playing one game because Kenny's back next week. But
do you reckon that he's going to actually play fullback? Because he is a halfback predominantly. Do you think he will be there in team list? The fact that they've named him?
I think he'll play fullback. He's played. He was the guy that comes from Sevens rugby, and yeah, he's been playing fullback in grade.
I get the vibe they just want to put Hines back to where he was playing.
Yeah.
You know, go back to do your role. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Lockie Miller was, I guess, the only one that could potentially play fullback. So I think Talakai.
Where's Metcalf?
Jake, are you willing to put your hand up for fullback on a training trial? I believe a training trial.
Mate, I'm fat and slow, mate. I'm not going playing fullback. I don't know.
Jake Granville's short and has curly hair, and he got fullback. He could play fullback.
I have no hair, mate. But yeah, I don't think we'll be getting rid of him. I think sort of just leave him. I mean, if he's the only option to, I guess, cash out and get a player that you want for 13, then yeah, go ahead because he's going to probably keep leaking a lot of money. He's got 130 break even this week, but just know that he can go out. I think he's versus Esam Masters this week, and Esam Masters cannot defend like Morgan Harper couldn't as well. So he could easily go for a hat trick and be 150 plus. So.
Yeah,
it's a nervous trade out if you are trading him out, hey?
Yeah, Titans is the main thing that kept me back into holding him because I'm like, shit, he gets a center wing duel. I couldn't, like, he's got a high ceiling, and I wouldn't mind putting him into center wing, and I don't have to play Tago every week. That hurt me last week. But yeah, after the Roosters, they play the Warriors. Titans again, so soon. Then the Bulldogs. So it's a nice little draw there, and that's what scares me getting rid of Talakai. If he doesn't get this Origin spot, where I think he might not with just this short layoff, I think he'll be a crucial number for the second bye. So I think I'm gonna hold. Like, I really wanted to get Manu, and I agree with you, Jake. I think if you really want someone for the buy and someone else, go for it, trade him. But at the same time, you got to think, is it practical? And I think just because he plays a buy,
I think Joey Manu is just a Penrith this week, so I wouldn't expect him to score too much.
He actually has quite of a blinder against Penrith a lot of the time, and that's also why I wasn't scared to pick him against Penrith, because even when the Roosters are getting beat and they lose, Manu just seems to just pop up with these attacking stats. So, but yeah, I think I've kind of talked myself into the Shaun Johnson trade, but yeah, let's keep going along. We're not going to do basically all the hot topics have been within these bulky questions, and for once, it's nice to cover a lot of the questions. So we're just going to keep rolling with that, and then we'll go into.
Can we talk by numbers? What are you guys doing? Targeting for by numbers? Have you got a number in your head, or you just
let's do that. We'll say what number. Yeah, so I think 13 would be an excellent number in my opinion, without breaking my side apart, and that's from my team. I'm down to, I could be down to 20 trades this week, and I need to start holding back, set up and then hold back and just kind of rest with what I've got for a bit. But I'm thinking 11 is going to be more practical for me. We'll move to you, Jake, and then we'll come back to me with how many I have at the moment.
So I've got 11, but one of those, that includes Cooler and Violetta, who I guess aren't really much numbers for that buy. So I mean, 13, 14, I think is going to be what I end up with. And maybe the 15th if I keep Valeo, or even if Burbo potentially returns. So I think, 13, 14 is kind of the number that at the moment I'm looking at having. Timmy, what about you, mate?
Oh, I was just counting you. You just threw me off. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I've got 8. Okay. Yeah, Vale is included in one of those. The rest of them are reasonable, okay players. But yeah, I feel like I'm probably thinking I would have wanted to target more like 12 to 13, but now I'm getting close to it, and there's not a great deal of players on my radar. I think I might go shorter for this buy and try have a little bit more in the next buy. Perhaps maybe like go for 11 at max, because I've got 8 now. I can only see myself bringing in another 3 at best, probably over that period. I might hit it a little harder, closer to the buy, like the week of the buy. Maybe if there's someone that really presents and stands out. Yeah, because
you have 3 in that buy round. So you have 3 trades in that buy round. You have 2 next week. I mean, you probably don't want to use them all anyway on those
you could chill if you didn't. Depending on your numbers, you don't have to be rushing them in this week. You can even just wait and assess a little bit closer too, if that's the way you want to think. Because last year, I remember picking up quite a few as I went early through the year, and I think about 3 or 4 of them dropped off through injury. Maybe one was suspended as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure the numbers you get, if you grab quality, I don't mind carrying a high number. I just always like to go harder in the second buy, purely because that's a lot of those guys you can hold for your run home, so it's more trade effective. But if I bring in Shaun Johnson this week, I have 11, which does include Vayala and Cooler. I think Cooler, he's a try away from a decent score. I don't mind him, where Vayala is just really crappy. So yeah, 11, that's a lot more than I thought I had. That does include Burbo though, but I'm going to keep him in there for now. 11, that's not too bad. I'm kind of happy with that, but at the same time, if I can bring in 1 or 2 more quality options, I think 13 would be good. I
feel like I'm going to drop a little bit in the buy round. I'm going to be about 150, maybe 200 below par. But then again, last year I had heaps of buy numbers in one of the buys compared to other people. Even though I lost heaps of players, I would have been stacked. But I ended up still having like 3 or 4 more than I feel like the average bear. But those, just across the board, I scored so crap. And it was like equal to people who had like 3 less, 4 less than me. So sometimes it is, quality is important.
And it's handy to have a few extra numbers. Like if you want to have 12 or 13, sometimes that 14 can be handy because, like example, you might have Cotter. Cotter gets picked for Origin. Someone gets injured, suspended. But I think that round where you get 3, I definitely want to make those 3 trades. Maybe save 2 next week if I can, and then use the 2 to 3 the week after, because there'll be a lot of good, like, quick buying trades for that round, like a TPJ or plays like that where you're a bit worried about the suspension, or even Rapana. I don't like his draw, but it might be good for 13. So I think a lot of those plays will be on. We've got a time. We're nearly at the hour mark. We've got a few quick questions here. We've got Zachy James, Oliver Kalatu, or Kikau for long run. Probably Timmy might be a favourite to us. What do you reckon?
Emotionally, I would say Kickout because I'm the VILLIAME, but when I look at it like that, I think Kickout's been scoring some really good scores of like in the 80s, 70s recently over the last 4 weeks. People sort of seen that earlier in the year when they jumped on him. He scored pretty poorly and they were disappointed and couldn't wait to get rid of him again. So Kickout's one of those guys you've got to be patient with. He will have, a game or two here and there where he, scores a try and sets one up like last week. But then there are those games where it seems like he's still having runs, but because he doesn't really seem to, I don't know, he doesn't seem to really offload a great deal. He doesn't seem to really tackle bust unless he's just put straight through a hole, you know what I mean? So he needs the attacking stats. Olakawatu, you could kind of say the same, I guess, but I feel like he's more of a target in a side that don't have as many guns as Penrith. So you could probably flip a coin. They'll probably average pretty similar.
Yeah, that's a
Pick
good
who
point
you
to
enjoy
make.
watching. Yeah, whoever you enjoy watching more, maybe.
I'd probably go,
Olakawatu.
Olakawatu, just a touch in front. I own both, but
Especially
I
if
just
Turbo
think it,
comes back and he's killing it eventually, you know what I mean? Could be really firing, helping the rest of the side as well.
yeah, I agree. An important thing to know, I didn't know, is I didn't realize Graham. I missed that. Graham is starting on the left edge. That also kind of makes you a little bit more worried on Talakai.
Played
With
left
just
edge
the way
last
he is.
week as well. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
he
I was
played-
talking Campbell Graham? Campbell Graham?
No,
Wade.
they're talking about Way Graham.
Oh,
We're
okay,
talking
sorry.
about Way Graham. So the fact he's playing 80 and with how poorly like Talakai is just not getting the ball, that could be a little concerning. Unless Moylan can, as this Nathan said, rediscover his cutout pass. That's an important thing to note because
See, I don't really know because Teague Wharton was never a passing player anyway when he was, I guess, starting before.
it's true, but it's just he was getting a lot more ball. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Must be.
But teams have kind of aimed up on him now. They kind of.
And plus, Cronulla probably know they can't go to him all the time as well because people have doing their homework. So let's try work some other plays this week. You know what I mean? Throw them off a bit, and it doesn't always work out. And then they'll go, "Oh, we'll go to Toloko next week." So maybe it could be his week.
Cool. I'll answer this one. Rhys Pilgrim. I like his thoughts here. Going coach to Manu and was thinking Vilea to RC, but now contemplating Snyder to Johnson. Thoughts on RC versus Johnson? Going to watch and wait on Peoples to Momasia next week. Yep. I like the Peoples to Momasia. I'm thinking the same thing next week. Coach to Manu. Yeah, look, a lot of people can tell you don't go Manu, but I like Manu as an option. I think he's absolutely great for that first bye, and I'm not worried about his toughest straw. And yeah, RC versus Johnson. So RC's they're both basically the same price.
Hands down.
Yeah, just on pedigree because in the reserves, I'm not sure if he was last week, but Chanel Harris DeVita is in the reserves. I don't think
he wasn't there last week, so this is the first week he's back there, so he might even come in.
I don't think they'll drop him because RC has been playing good. The handy thing with RC is I do like the center wing half combo. Center wing halfback is a nice kind of position where I don't mind getting someone playing in the halves at the center wing.
I think he's a 6, RC. I think he's same as Amon.
5'8". Yeah, 5'8" center wing. There you go. Yeah, I thought it was halfback, but whatever it is in the center wing, I like Johnson. I know I'm probably going to bring in Johnson this week, but yeah, just based on pedigree and job security, I'd prefer Johnson there. We'll go one more question, or actually we can answer this from Lachlan Oak, just to help him out. Why is Snyder out? Just being dropped. I think it's purely Frawley's just been playing so good the couple of weeks while Wyden's been out. So he hasn't been bad, but he's been quite good. But it's just purely that Frawley's in a bit of better form. I think it's a bit of a tough call for the young kid. I thought he's been great. We've got plenty of questions. Sorry we couldn't get to everyone. We answered a lot more than we normally do. Let's go to bold predictions, and then we'll go to captain options and wrap it all up.
Go to Jake.
Tim, all right, Jake, we'll go with you. Bold predictions. What do you got for us this week?
I'm going to go. Well, Turbo, if he plays, will go under 50 again.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Nice. You take it.
Sorry, mate.
No, that's all right.
I'm going to go Talakai. This will be the round that Talakai bounces back. He'll score a double. He'll go 110 plus. Let's go with that. And we'll throw another one in there. Cody Walker. Actually, so Cody Walker and Turbo will go both under 60.
Ooh. Are you ready, Timmy, or do you want me to go in? I like those.
You can go.
Yep. Okay. I've got a big one this week.
Ooh.
Sabs Turbo, and Turbo will not play the 80 minutes because he's going to come off for injury and score under 50 points. That's maybe not that much of a bold prediction, but there is 3 components there, and I'm just going with Brandon's bad feng shui with Turbo at the moment. So
I have Turbo as well. Relax.
Yeah, but it's just because he constantly sinks Sabs
Brandon
because
Chip, yeah,
he didn't sink you last year when you won the comp, but he does sink Sabs when he's on a roll. So that's going to be my first bold prediction. My second one, let's go with a Talakai bounce back. Let's manifest some good energy here. Let's go Talakai for a ton. I'm going to go with Talakai for a ton. And Joey Manu, I'm not bringing him in, but I think Joey Manu will go 80 plus against Panthers and really sting that purchase. And Timmy, to you, what are you thinking?
Okay, so I'm going to go with Stagsy Boy. He's matched up against Bradman Best, and I feel like Bradman Best is a bit of a classy centre, and I feel like he likes to really play on matchup of classy centres. He likes to sort of be like, yeah, I'm the big dog. So I'm going to go Stags for an 88 plus. I'm then going to my thing's freezing. Okay, the only other one I can remember was Hines for 111. And my other one will be Garrick for 99.
You like exact scores, aren't you?
Oh, no, above. Plus.
Oh, okay.
They're both plus.
All right. No,
hey,
love
you got to be specific after Sab's trend this year. You got to be specific.
Yeah, no, not specific. Wow, that's not bold. That's
super bold.
The Oracle.
Sab's nearly got it too. Yeah, he nearly got it. That Snyder one, which is quite cool. Captaincy options. I want to quickly grab up the percentage. I'll start it off. We'll go in order of screens. Went Nico Hines last week. He did kind of burn me. Few interesting options this week. Like I really like a VC on IPAP, just for some security, and I don't mind with a lot of my duds kind of sitting out. Like, I could loop an IPAPs, and I think Manly might be up for this game, but I just think he's just scoring tries for fun at the moment, IPAP. But the way I have it at the moment is Cameron Munster as my VC, and then my captaincy is going to be on Hines, purely also after seeing him named. I assume he'll be the most popular, but after seeing him named back at halfback, redemption this week for the Sharks, I just think it's a pretty. He plays the last game. I just think he'll be up for some redemption, and I can see an 80+ score in him. So with some high upside, so I think it will stay similar to that. But yeah, who knows? Jake, to you.
Well, mate, going to be pretty boring. I'm pretty much along the same lines as you, where the VC, IPAP, or Munster, and then captain on Hines.
Yeah, thought so.
Yeah, I probably just don't know what one I'll choose. Might choose opposite to you, Mikey, to make it interesting.
Yeah, I think if you're going to go a pretty safe captain, or not a safe captain, a popular captain, I want to have just a bit of a potty VC, or not a potty VC, one with high upside. So I think that's why I might go Munster for redemption. He played well last week, and he was very appalled with how Melbourne play. And when Melbourne lose, they always come back the next week, and they lost pretty poorly. So I'm just thinking, yeah, like I don't even mind the straight C on Munster this week. I don't know if I have the balls to do it. I'm not afraid to loop this week. I'm just feeling I'll take a bit of safety and security. And just quickly before we move on to Timmy, Hines is at 37%. captaincy at the moment. Not too sure if many people
A lot
have
left from
rotated
last
there.
week, man. Yeah, a lot left.
Yeah. It is. It is early. It is definitely early, but there is definitely some movings with those percentages. And what are you thinking at this stage, Timmy?
Well, I've actually got a bonus bowl prediction, which I'm really excited about. If you guys don't mind, it's
Go for
Alex
it.
Twal. There's been a lot. Vossi's been talking it up. There's a petition that if he scores a try, that people will storm the field. He will score a try against the Dogs. They've lost their coach this week. They're a bit depleted. He's coming off the bench, and I've just got a feeling that it's his day. He's going to get some meat, even if it's someone that gets there and he just runs and they give it to him, and it's not even on his own merit. He will score the try, and people will storm the field whether or not it's been agreed upon or not. So there'll be a bit of an interruption to our Friday night 6 p.m. game. As for captains, oh yeah, go ahead.
Also, I was
Jake.
just going to add, it's actually his 100th game as well, Tim. It's his 100th game.
There you go.
I'm big on milestones. I might even look at bringing him in if I don't know. So I'll just throw that out just because it might happen. But look, okay, it's probably not.
That'd be a huge play. That'd be a huge play if you did that and he scored a Ruben Cotter kind of try. Oh, that'd be awesome.
The Spy picked him up last year for bye period, and I thought it was an interesting one. But he was plugging away and scoring quite well last year, just sort of under the radar.
He's been doing okay. He has been doing okay, and that's another one that's falling in price to keep an eye on, guys. Just quickly, Toy Manu. He's going down in price. Could be a nice sneaky one for the second buy. He's lost quite a bit of money, and he's coming into cheapy territory. So if he gets his minutes back up there, he could be a bargain.
Yeah, I think he needs more minutes in his legs, so I wouldn't be jumping on until he gets it to.
No.
Okay, so my captains. Wow, all over the place. I think probably I'm a sucker for the Sunday. I like to hold my captain till the end. I could go a cheeky little Cody Water. Maybe I'll go Hines. I like both of them. They're both sneaky. I do like what you said about Munster as a VC. I don't mind that if that's something I could make happen. It's a kind of a later game in the week. I don't know whether I've got the non-players or whatever to make that
You
work.
probably have Tass and Sawali.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a possibility. I might look at that, but I also don't mind a cheeky Stags just in case he goes off on a Thursday. Sometimes a weird Thursday night vice captain can work. And also, I'll have to leave out there that this is a possibility. If I can hold my patience on Turbo with it, and there's no VC yet, he might get my VC if I don't sell him.
Yeah.
If I get to look at him like a horse parading around and get a look at his sort of form, like showing his teeth or whatever, and if he looks good, I'll get him in.
Look, I'm all for, if you're a Tommy owner, I'm all for having the VC on him because that's purely an insurance move. For if you're keeping him, you're probably a believer that, hey, that big game is coming. And if you're a believer of that and you did not have a VCLC on him each week, I think you'd be kicking yourself. So I definitely think the VC, and yeah, as Jake pointed out, I think it's a good round to have a later VC and one that can work because most of us would have tasks, and I don't want to play Suwali this week. I have a dog shit centre wing, so I'm forced into playing him.
My asterisk, I'm not trying to be deceptive or smirky or doing a bloody teams list like this long. So what it is I still haven't assessed the weather. I want to look at the weather in all of the games. Everything's got a factor, I want to, there's a lot of different things to come into play. Also, how I'm feeling on the day. Sometimes you can just sort of get a little bit and just pull the trigger on something like Savs did with the Turbo. Don't encourage it.
That never works for me. I think it happened once. I remember my worst time was when I was feeling it. I brought in most Mbai and he scored 2 or 1, and I captained him, and that's when he was like awesome for the Bulldogs, where he was having that patch. And to this day, I'll never live that down. It's horrible. But anyways, I'm pretty sure let's wrap up there. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for all those questions. Sorry to the ones we couldn't get in. Stay tuned for this Sunday. I think Savs may be out also next week, so you get us 3 again. But Savs at this rate will be in against Maxi on Sunday. Shout out to Maxi
against him. I like it. It's a good match. Maxi and Savs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping on with him too. So shout out to Max. He's been doing a great job on that Sunday podcast. And yeah, to wrap up one, it's been getting a bit of traction. I'm just glad that we got 2 podcasts out a week. So it gives a bit more variety. And I kind of don't mind the aspect of 3 people. I think it flows a bit better. Where 4 sometimes can be a bit disruptive, especially when we're all not in this one studio. But hey, there'll be more from us. Good luck this week. Yeah, another interesting week coming up. I feel like I just got a feeling it's going to be another weird week.
Big week.
Big
Big
week.
scores. After a little one, it's going to be like 13, 1400s, a couple of cheeky 15s. Have fun this week. It's going to be good.
See you later, guys.
So here's all.